Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Options Moneymaker New Cycle Trading Q&A. Today is Wednesday, July 6th, 2022. Your hosts today are me. I am Erin Rumley, and then we also have Kristen Kane. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, good evening.
How are you this evening?
Very good, thank you.
So while we wait for some questions to come in, I'll just go through a few little things. Kristen, why don't you talk about this? So our motto is learn to trade, trade to earn, and Kristen's been really enforcing these learning points in our live trading room.
You bet. Great. Thank you, Erin. So in the live trading room, we are focused on a particular set of entries. We call it the Aurora system. Erin will be talking a lot more about that. But even back to all of our previous trading strategies, we've always had a focus on helping traders learn to trade so they can then trade to earn. And so the 4 steps that we take in the live trading room are: we focus first on just learning how to enter a trade. We have fantastic resources on our education page, videos that you can watch, and even some reference material that you can download and print off, have by your side while you're trading to really master the entry into trades. Once you've gotten that down, then we learn how to manage your trade. And so again, those same resources will teach you how we select our profit and stop or risk on the trades, how we exit trades, and then how we try to manage the trade in order to protect our profits. So again, all of those strategies and ideas are talked about in the documents and in the videos available on our website, but the live trading room provides a great opportunity to have conversations about that strategy as well. Then, of course, there's learning how to manage your trading platform. We use the Infinity Trading Dome, and so we will demo that periodically in the live trading room and talk about strategies on really how to get great at using the tool you use to trade. And then one of the most exciting things that we actually launched at the beginning of just this year is a strategy on learning when to stop, which can be sometimes the most difficult thing to do. And so we set a max loss limit for our day. We established goals using our personal trading planner. And then we also use a strategy called PATS, which is a profit accumulating trailing stop through the day, which will help us know that if we've reached a certain profit level in the day and we've gotten to that goal, maybe we keep taking trades and keep winning. Maybe if we take a trade and lose, then we stop. And so that really has helped us know when to stop trading and not give back all of our profits. Of course, we always recommend that when you are learning a new strategy, that you learn in sim. And the Infinity Dome allows for a great simulated trading opportunity. And then once you have consistent results in sim, you can switch to live. During the live trading room, we go through these 4 steps over and over and over again once a month. About now, we're dedicating a whole week to back to basics and just really talking through how to enter those trades, manage those trades, manage your dome, and reinforce when to stop. And we'll continue to do that as long as we have a great community in the live trading room to work with.
That is one of the benefits of the live trading room, which is included with an Aurora subscription, is we're there every day to help guide you through the signals and through thinking like a trader. It's very easy to sit down in front of your dome or your trading platform and click when the chart says buy or click when the chart says sell. But Kristen's there to help guide you through this thought process and to help you learn and accelerate your learning as well. She also talks about performance, the opportunities that Aurora can present to you. NQ futures, there are two different Aurora system that we track. They're the PBs, that's what we call them, the PB3, PB5, and PB13, which averages around $2,000 a day. Then there's the A's, the 3 A's, 4 A's, and fractals on the 5 and 10 minute. That's about $1,100 a day. And then we've also started to, I shouldn't say start, but we've also applied these strategies, these systems to other markets such as oil and RTY. And based on our tracking, oil is about $1,400 a day, RTY is about $1,000 a day. And all of these opportunities assume you're taking every single trade, but that you also stop if you were to meet or exceed a $1,700 max loss. And that's because we encourage thinking like a trader and treating this as a business. And there needs to be some sort of cutoff point where you stop and you either reevaluate what you're trading, how you're trading, how the day is going, or you just stop for the day and come back at it the very next day. So all of these averages are with incorporating a $1,700 stopping point. These averages are the opportunities that the system provides on NQ, oil, and RTY. We've seen similar opportunities on options. We're also looking at 3-minute, 5-minute, and 10-minute and 15-minute charts, but you can use the Aurora system on shorter time frames or longer time frames. Some of our traders in our live trading room that have been trading with Aurora for some time have already started to incorporate the Aurora system with other indicators that they like to look at, such as the average true range is an indicator that some people look at to determine whether they're going to trade or not during a certain time frame or even for that day. There have been traders that take the Aurora system to a much shorter time frame or a much longer time frame. We are showing you a very small snapshot of the possibility of the Aurora system. The Aurora system are indicators is what it comes down to. So it's something as simple as you could think of it as Bollinger Bands. You can trade Bollinger Bands all on their own, where you're looking at Bollinger Band squeezes or Bollinger Band snaps, or how the Bollinger Band is behaving in relation to the moving averages. But you can also take the Bollinger Bands and add them to the AO or other indicators to help really fine tune your entry. Now we have that with the Aurora system. The Aurora system is taking into account a variety of different factors to create the Aurora system, but so you can use it alone. It's not as simple as a Bollinger Band. It's much more complex than that, but you can trade it alone, or you can apply it to maybe something else, a different indicator that you are familiar with, that you have traded with and for some time, such as the just average true range or volume, something as simple as that, to make it your own. Again, what we show you with the Aurora system is a great entry level for anyone that's looking to get started trading. They can come in and they could choose to just trade 4 A's on the 5-minute, or they could choose to just trade PB3s and keep it very simple. But there is a lot more potential out there, especially if you had a capacity to trade options and futures or futures on different markets. Of course, that's not something you'd want to start with day one. You definitely want to work up to that point, but there is a lot of opportunity with, from what we've seen with the Aurora system. Every time we bring it to a new market, we're liking the performance that we are seeing. And then, of course, if you want to learn more at all, we do have our website, newcycletrading.com, and then newcycletrading.com/services is where I would recommend you start. It's going to show you really what we offer with the Aurora trading system, our live trading room, which is included with the Aurora trading system, a personal trading plan, which helps you forecast out your business profits, taking into account some setbacks, but also helping you guide how you want to increase your contract size and really be able to measure the performance of your trading business. So feel free to check out that link, but we'll move right into questions.
Great. And the first question is from Greg. So Greg is noticing, thank you, Greg, that today is the first time on the tracker for oil. We listed 5, 10, 15 minute. Now, I'm going to actually share that tracker with you. So this is our oil tracker, and you can see our category right here is 5, 10, 15 minute 3A, 4A fractals. Greg, that has always been what the all category was. We just didn't have it listed. The description was not as accurate as it should have been. So all along, we have been listing all of the trades. Our averages page have always listed the 5, 10, 15 minute 3A, 4As and fractals. So that actually isn't, the only thing different is the description there. So hopefully that answers that part of your question, but feel free to take some screenshots of the averages page if you'd like. And then you're also asking if we have some exit rules on the 15-minute trades, and we actually trade those with the exact same rules as our 10-minute trades on oil.
And then he's also asking if you can show the daily summary for oil.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll get you as much, and if you want me to go back up, I can, but there's a block of the daily summary for you.
And again, we have a filter on there of the $1,700. It's 170 ticks, which $10 a tick, $1,700 stopping point on the downside.
So also our different categories here, if the tool that we have, the trackers that we have that collect all of the data that Aaron has created for us are incredible. We can do a breakdown of any of our signals, individual or grouped, if you need to see them, different categories or in different time frames as well.
And then Dennis is asking, have you done any tracking with the ES? Not to the capacity that we have with CL and RTY and NQ. We have looked into it, but I don't have numbers for it. It behaves very similarly to NQ in the amount of trades that work out, and it just moves much slower than NQ. But we don't have a tracker to give us averages, so I can't speak to the actual dollar amount performance on ES.
So Greg, I did see your follow-up that said, yes, move up, please. So there is some more of the previous data.
I think this is an assumption, again, not based on any data, but my guess is ES performance is going to be similar to NQ in regards to the average amount of winning trades and winning days. But my guess would be probably a little bit smaller on the actual profit, just because ES does not move quite as much as NQ.
So Steve, I'm going to try to address your question. Steve is saying, it appears that when the markets get into a range or congestion, Aurora struggles. It looks like the internals of the system need to get in order. And by the time that happens, the price is either at the top or the bottom of the range, and then it reverses. Is there a way to either filter those signals out, or another one of the Aurora internals that could be used to identify an earlier entry? So when we initially rolled Aurora, we had our PB entries, and our PB trades are taken. I'm going to actually flip over to an NQ chart just to kind of talk a little bit about it. Oh, we'll look at right there. There was a there was a PB3. This indicator right here is called the PBA indicator, and when that comes on, that's an entry into a trade. In this case, it's a short trade off of the 3-minute. But I think, Steve, what your question might be referring to is sometimes we see our entries not come on until, we had a lot of this today. For example, right here, where maybe the entry did not come on until it's already reached the top of its range. And so with the Aurora system, we have actually 3 very specific criteria in which we just filter trades out that we know are at the top of its range when you're trading the PB signals. And so we just skip those trades. So that's how we're identifying those trades. And then what we did a few months into Aurora is we brought in the A signals. The A signals we don't use filters on, and our results have been pretty consistent and pretty positive that even if we get a signal to enter an A trade at the top of the range, that trade will still produce its profits. One of the things we did to allow for that to happen is we also expanded our parameters on our A trades. And so we've used the PB trades and our filters along with the introduction of the A trades to try to identify when we have those signals that might have that significant reversal on you. So that's what we've done in the system in order to try to accommodate for that.
Fred just saying slow could be good, referring to ES. I realized there was a learning curve to see the various trades, but you also scream, okay, maybe shout out the trades as they are about to form and how many seconds do you have to make the trade on an average day. So if you're looking for maybe not as much risk, you could always start with the micros of NQ. A really great stepping stone is to start in sim as you're learning to trade and to be in the live trading room if at all possible, because Kristen does, I shout sometimes, but Kristen will guide you through the trades. She is very in tune with the signals, meaning that she can give you a heads up of what signal is possible. And our trades are taken within really the first 3 seconds of an open of a bar. So it's only going to happen, these entries, at very specific times throughout the day. So she is going to say, okay, it looks like we are setting up for a PB 35 at the beginning of the next bar. We have about 10 seconds left. This is not a current situation right now because there's 30 seconds left on the 5-minute, but that's what she will go through. She'll talk about how much time you have left. And then she will say, we're short on a PB 35. And so the longer that you're in the live trading room, the more reinforcement you have of the education that you went through, which is free to anybody. The Aurora trading education is free. The easier it is to be able to get in right at the open of that bar, right as the signal comes on. And same with the 4As and the 3As. They're in alignment between the indicators, but the signal shows up on the price bar. So you can be looking at the indicators that are lining up to get an idea that the signal's about to happen. And then it shows up on the chart, it shows up in the alert log, either one you can look at to really be ready then to click sell market or buy market on your trading platform and get it right at as close to the open of the bar as possible. And then Kristen goes through and guides you on the exit of the trade. So all of our trades start off with a very specific parameter. It is a little bit different depending on which strategy we're taking, but you essentially have a bracket order set out there with either a 20 or a 30-point stop on it, depending on the strategy that you're trading. And then your profit target starts at about 10 points and can be adjusted from there. And if there's any way to reduce your risk by using an adjacent fractal, or if we're in a trending trade and we decide to adjust to the lower high of the prior bar, Kristen talks you through that as well. Did I miss anything that you do in the live trading room as you're guiding them through everything?
Nope, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we do take time in the live trading room to sometimes take a deeper dive into some of the signals, especially during our back to basics week. Like I said, we're trying to do that about once a month, where on Monday and Tuesday, all we'll do is talk about A trades. We'll still track all the other trades, and towards the end of the day, we might start calling out a couple of the other possible strategies that pop up, but we really focus in on the A strategy so that you can just practice that and get really good at that. And then maybe on Thursday and Friday, on Wednesday and Thursday, we'll just practice the PB strategies so that we can just stay focused on those. And then Friday, we'll try to put it all together and look at trading the system, which would be a combination of some of the trades. So those back to basics weeks are just fantastic to be a part of. We usually record some of those and offer those recordings to all of those who have a subscription as kind of an extra added value, learning value too. Scott is asking, the indicators with the DOM and the trading plan, do you have to input all the daily data? Yes, that is exactly what I do and what our team does. We have different team members that track different charts. So we are at our desks right at 7 o'clock Eastern time, actually a little before that, and we will track that first trade. So as soon as the trade comes on, we track it, and we are either, some of us are trading in our live domes, some of us might be trading in sim domes. Whenever I'm in the live trading room, I'm always trading in a sim dome along with everyone so we can have that same experience. And we track every single one of those trades in real time as they happen. So every single day we track the data, put it into a daily sheet, and then the magic that Aaron has put behind the Excel spreadsheet that we have pulls all of the data in so that we can see the averages and do our analysis.
Yeah, and Kristen just said this, but I really want to emphasize this. We have multiple people that are tracking each of these. And because of that, we're able to track all of these in real time and see what is actually happening. So there will be some times where a trade is skipped based on something that Kristen is identifying, such as the size of the bar. But all of this is done in real time. Her and I were talking today, and she had to put me on pause as she was tracking because signals were coming and going, and wanted to make sure that everything was tracked accurately. And it's easy to go back and look at something outside of the regular market session and assume you know how a signal came on and how the profit worked out. but that's not an accurate way to track. And so that is not the way that we track. We track in real time as the signals are coming on, to make sure that we have the most accurate data. And then Eric saying a while back, there was a discussion of potentially publishing daily trade details for a longer look back period, more than taking a screenshot of the current day. So we do have the Aurora results on our website. They show each day's results for the NQ PBs and then the NQ 3A and 4A, and you can look at the daily summary and you can look at the averages and you can scroll up and down and take a look at those. And those are updated on a daily basis.
And of course, while you're in the live trading room, if you want to see any analysis or breakdown, I am more than happy to go through that and look at that. I actually love doing that while everybody's in the live trading room, just to demonstrate all of the variety of ways that we can slice this data and look at it for you. So anytime you're in the live trading room and you want to see certain signals for certain time periods, that is not at all a bother. That's what we're here for. And we want to be able to share that with you.
And Greg, that plays into your question where you're asking if we're going to publish your research so we can play with timeframe signals, et cetera. You're not a bother in the live trading room. There's probably somebody else that's very interested in a similar combination of timeframes or signals. It is something that we eventually would like to have available to our Aurora subscribers, the ability to manipulate the data. We're just not there yet. We've looked into a variety of different options and all of them have some limitation that we're not happy with yet. So we haven't quite found the right opportunity or the right way to allow an Aurora subscriber to go ahead and manipulate the data. But you have access to the live trading room and we're here to answer questions. I promise you're not a bother in the live trading room. And again, if you are interested in a certain time frame, somebody else is probably interested in a similar time frame, and it can be a benefit to the whole community.
So I am going to take Reg's question because he's actually kind of asking a question about the current charts as we see them. So on the current 10-minute bar or 10-minute chart, if there is no current signal, I would not be preparing to go short. Everything looks short to the trend, the lines are pointing down, etc. So you're definitely in a short trend on the 10-minute. I agree with you there. What we look for in our trades is for PB trades, we look for alignment. If we're trying to enter a trade off a 10-minute chart, we're looking for alignment with these PBA indicators. There has to be a PBA on the 10-minute and the 3-minute. And as long as those are aligned, we can enter. If there's a continuation of that alignment, then we're not entering again until there's some sort of a break and there's then realignment. Now I'm simplifying that. There's a little bit more to it, of course, and there is free videos available for you to learn about that. There's job aids and resources available that talk about when you take those trades. But so until I see realignment, you can see right now this current bar, this next bar, 3-minute bar that's going to open. If I got a short PBA and the 10-minute was still on, that could be a re-entry into a trend trade, definitely. Now that's the PB trades. On the A trades, we're just looking for these wonderful little indicators. And here, I'm just going to expand this a little bit. We're just looking for these indicators. Aaron has built the indicators to just pop right up for us. And as long as you see that 3A or 4A pop up, if it pops up at the open of a bar, you can take it. If it pops up mid-bar, we take it at the open of the next bar. Again, there's a little bit of a condition on the 10-minute. We look for some alignment on the 5-minute PFO. Again, that's all indicated in our resources, but that's kind of the strategy that we use. So Reg, hopefully that kind of gave you a little bit of insight there.
And then Greg's asking on oil for the 5, 10, 15, the 3A, 4A fractals, the profit and stops are 20 ticks profit and 50 tick stop loss. That's correct. So 20 tick profit and 50 tick stop loss.
David is asking or saying, hope to take advantage of a free week on Monday and trade in sim. If I am on Monday, would a quick review be mentioned to set up stops and profits for trades? Say, so they go in when we submit the trade and not have to quickly adjust too often. So I would be more than happy to help with that. If you're in on Monday morning, our chat, just like it is now, is always open in the live trading room. So a quick reminder on Monday morning would be awesome, David. And I would take some time to go through those and talk about, so if I say long, for example, did that come on right at the open? No, it was late. So that was not a long entry. You can see it came on 8 seconds late, but had that come on right at bar open, I would say long, PB35, and then I could say your profit should be at 10 points. I always read out bar open. So we always lock in our 10 points of profit off of bar open. So I would even say to you, bar open is 86 3/4. Your profit should be at 96 3/4. And your stop is 20 points back at 66 3/4. So I sometimes don't do that on every trade because kind of we get into a groove and there's some, well, I just don't always say it on every trade, but if you're newer in the room and you remind me, I will absolutely remember to say those things for you and help you out.
Reg, absolutely. Thank you for saying that. Saying I've seen a lot of systems methods and yours by far outstrips anything I've seen. So the platform that you're looking at is our signals are available on TradingView. If you've never used TradingView before, when you sign up with Aurora, we give you a link to use a free 30-day trial with TradingView as you're getting set up and learning the signals. But you can trade it on any trading platform. We prefer the Infinity Futures trading platform, the download version for PC. That is our preferred method or preferred DOM to trade on, but you can trade on any trading platform that allows you to trade futures. We prefer the Infinity Futures trading platform because of their low margin requirements and low commissions and fees, and honestly, just how quickly and easily you can get in and out of trades with their platform.
So Paul, thank you. Paul is a new subscriber, first time in the Q&A. I know Paul and I have chatted, and I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much. The live trading room guidance is really, really important, I think, for new traders. And I think not only with me guiding, our community is phenomenal. The people in the live trading room will remind me of things. They'll reinforce things. They'll ask extra questions to help us have productive conversation. So that is fantastic. If you need help setting things up, we can absolutely help in the live trading room. If you need some additional assistance, you can email us and we might be able to, you know, send you some additional resources or whatnot, but happy to do whatever we need to in order to kind of help you get things set up. So for example, one of the things that sometimes people need assistance with are the 3 lines that you see here in the middle. We use those moving averages when we're trading PB signals to watch for one of our possible filtering techniques. And so it's important that you have those moving averages on your chart. And if you're not familiar with those, we can help you set those up. I can demonstrate how to get those set up in the live trading room. We can show you the settings, the PB indicators. So for example, not only do you need the PB indicator set up, but there's a certain setting that you might need to have set up, so we can go over the inputs, the style. I also have taken a little liberty to change some of the colors. So the Bollinger Bands that we use, the default coloring kind of blends in. And so I have different coloring, and people have asked me to demonstrate how I've changed those. So any questions like that you have, the live trading room is absolutely the perfect time for you to ask those questions and for me to demonstrate that for you. I'm more than happy to do that.
Since you're here though, we can just show you real quick. You're talking about setting up moving averages. And if this doesn't completely answer your question, then Kristen can definitely dive into it a little bit more during the live trading room. But the moving averages is added the same way you added any of your other indicators. You go up to the indicators, metrics, and strategies, and it's going to be part of, yeah, you can just search for it, Williams Alligator. And then she's already started, so it's a favorite of hers, and that's it. And you will click it and it will be added to your chart. So it's called the Williams Alligator, is what those 3 moving averages are.
And of course, the PB indicator, the CXA indicator, profit, most of the indicators that you see on ours, that's part of the subscription. So once you have your subscription, then you get access to those invite only indicators, and that's when you can set those up. One of the most important things for you to provide is your TradingView username. As long as that's accurate, then we'll have you set up really quickly, and those indicators will become available for you.
And since we haven't had a Q&A in a while, the alerts have changed since, I think, since our last Q&A. I'm trying to think about when that was rolled out, but the alerts are much easier to set up. If you just want to pull up an alert for one of, and it doesn't matter to me if you want to do PBA or 4A or anything, Kristen, you're
Yep, you bet. You want me to actually?
Yeah, that's fine. Just editing will be just fine. Yep. So you no longer have to remember to click once per bar. It's now built into the code of the indicator. So right now she's looking at the Aurora system PBA, and it automatically will fire once per bar, and the alert message is also hard coded in. So you don't need to go through and set up an alert for a long and then a short and a stopped and a flatten. You can just have the title set up, which she has for PBA. And then each time a PBA shows up, it depends on what it is, it will actually say in the message, you can see on her alert log, the last alert down there says PBA long. And that has the PBA long part is actually coded into the alert. So instead of creating 4 alerts for PBA, you create 1. It's a much quicker way to create the alerts for each indicator. You can see she has, 4 alerts out there for the 3-minute. And then for the 5-minute, she has those same 4 plus fractals. So it's a lot less alerts to create, but still the same frequency of alerts that you see come through.
It makes changing contracts so much easier.
I really,
I'm so happy.
It made it a lot cleaner, and to not have to type those messages for each one. It was definitely improvement that we wanted to roll out. And so those are for the PBAs, which also means the CXAs, 3As, 4As, and fractals. Oh, and PFO. A couple questions on how CycleBot is coming along, which is the auto trader. We're still working on it. Of course, we want to make sure that it is error proof by the time we release it to you all. So it's going to take some time as we continue to for lack of a better word, what I would say is try to break it. That's what I usually do. That's the phrase I use when I send everyone on the team a new spreadsheet. I say, okay, now try and break this, please, because we want to make sure that it doesn't break by the time it is handed out to you. So that's what we're working on. And of course, as we try to break it and as we continue to trade, we realize that we want different features or different upgrades. And so we're still continuing to work on it to hopefully provide you the best option right out of the gate.
And Kendall, thank you, is also sharing the 3A, 4A indicators along with fractals on charts have been great additions. It's so much fun in the live trading room, especially for those of you who have been with us since we rolled Aurora in the beginning of this year. It is so much fun to watch each of you learn these and really discover your own skill in training the 3A, 4As, and then the PAs. I would say the 3A, 4As are very, very straightforward, much simpler, a little bit more risk when you take the trades, but the entries are great. And I know David is mentioning that those flags that pop up are so simple, so easy to see, and so that you know when to enter a trade. So it's really fun working with you as you start to learn these signals and follow along. And I know Kendall has definitely been seeing a lot of success with those 3A, 4As. It's fun to work with you and watch your success.
David saying, I think the new 4As and 3As are great signals, really makes it look easy first time seeing them. And of course, I'm just going to hopefully say this before the question comes in. We're trying to do the same exact thing with the PB3s, 35s, and 13s as well, is that they just appear and make it very clean and clear of when the entries are. Scott, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by, we lost the screen, Kristen.
Yep, I see that. I'll be right
there. Are the added indicators global? I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but as an Aurora subscriber, you receive access to every single indicator that New Cycle Trading has published. So that is Aurora, which is the PBA and CXA. That's the Profit Flow Oscillator, the Cycle Finder Plus, the 4As, the 3As, the fractals and divergent bars, the adaptive entry system, and then some other additional indicators which we don't use on a daily basis. You receive all of those with a subscription to Aurora. And then there are additional indicators that are free through TradingView that are also shown on the chart, such as the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands are a pretty standard indicator available on almost any sort of charting system. And then the Williams Alligator, the Awesome Oscillator, also known as the AO. All of those are free on TradingView and can be added through them as well. So I hope that answers your question.
So a couple of questions or comments on options. Kendall is saying the 3A, 4A are great for options trading as well. Definitely can apply the 3A and 4A signals, indicators, add those to your stock symbols and trade options using 3A, 4A. And then David is asking if there's any news on the alert system, or has the market just been too crazy at this time? The alerts definitely, when the challenge that we were having was the alerts were so successful that by the time we would get the message out, the profits had already been accumulated. So we're looking for new options. We're looking for new options. We don't have anything new to report at this time, but that's definitely something that we are looking at, David.
We basically need we're looking for something that is slower. Even though we were trading a 30-minute chart, they hit their profit target so quickly. Didn't matter that we were sending out that alert as quickly as possible, and within a couple minutes. By the time the alert was received, the profit was already there. And so obviously that's not, it's just not something that is logical to be able to follow. And so if you have the Aurora subscription, you can trade options. There's nothing that's preventing you from doing that. We're looking at a 30-minute chart with an alignment with a 5-minute chart. I would hold off from Amazon right now because they did the stock split, but looking at Tesla or Shopify or ES, some of the ETFs, you have options out there. And the rules are very similar to the PB35s. I mean, you're looking for alignment between the 5-minute and the 30-minute chart. But again, a problem that we never realized would be a problem is that the profits were happening too quickly. So right now we're on hold until we can find something that allows us to have to hold the trade a little bit longer. Again, not something I thought would be a problem that we're running into, but that is where we're at with the alert.
Scott is asking, when you add an indicator to one chart, does it populate to the other charts? So not automatically, but you can very easily apply your chart layout, your indicator layout to all the other time frames. So what I do when you subscribe, there is a very detailed set of instructions that'll help you get these all set up. But what I usually do is I would set up, if I was setting up a brand new chart, I set up my 3-minute, I add the indicators to my 3-minute. Once that's done, then I just copy the entire layout copy the indicators to the entire layout. So I have the indicator set up on the 3-minute, I have the 3, 5, 10 set up, and then just copy using TradingView feature to copy the entire layout. Don't know.
Apply these indicators.
Indicators to entire layout. So I just
will
right
say,
mouse clicked them.
With the initial setup, it will apply them to all of it, because we start you, as long as you're not starting with an existing chart, as long as you're starting with the basic chart that we give you, which is just a single time frame, you'll add all the indicators to that single time frame. And then when you select the 3 charts side by side, it actually copies all those indicators over. So either way, you don't have to go through and meticulously add each of them to each chart. There's a couple different ways to get them to automatically populate to the other charts. And then let's say, okay, you have your NQ chart set up and now you want to set up your oil chart, but it's a 5, 10, 15. That's okay. You can make a copy of your NQ chart, change it to oil, and then change your timeframes to 5, 10, and 15 without having to touch any of the indicators on there as well. So TradingView makes it very easy that once you have a chart, you can create copies of it. You can also save the chart as a template. So anytime you create a new chart, you can actually just click on the template and apply it to your chart. And then back to options, Kendall is saying there are a lot of times I'm in an options trade less than 30 seconds. It's just, it really never, again, I never thought that it would be such a problem of how quickly those profits were generated on options trades. So definitely opportunity there, just too quick of an opportunity for us to use it for an alert service currently. Until we can find a way to, hardwire our brain so you can all hear what we're thinking as we're thinking about the trade and looking to go into the trade. We keep looking at different ideas of ways to communicate what's setting up, but we don't have anything set in stone yet. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes. I don't see any other questions out there right now. Michael's asking, is there a way to have a different sound associated with a long 3A and a short 3A, or any other indicators? So yes. So you can have one sound for the A's and a different sound for PBs. You should be able to do that. Kristen, can you do me a favor and
Absolutely.
just go to edit one of your.
Yeah. So this is the PBs.
And under more actions, you can choose what sound you want to play. There is a limit on how many sounds they have, but you can choose a different sound for A's versus PBs.
But
now
all of your PBs will have the same sound.
Right. Now, if you, I think you don't want to hit save, trust me.
No,
Nope.
I don't.
Now, go to your A's settings, not the alert settings, but the actual indicator settings.
Okay. I'm going to right mouse click on that and then.
And then.
Is it here or?
Yeah, let's see if there's anything under style. So I don't think there is. So there's not a way to separate the long and the short. There is a way to separate the 3A's versus the 4A's, where you would uncheck display and alert 4A's, click OK. You don't have to do this, Kristen, but you would click OK and then create your alert and then go back, do the opposite and create your alert. So the key with alerts is that when you create an alert for an indicator, it takes a snapshot of your current settings for that indicator. Doesn't matter what you do after that. Doesn't matter what settings you change after you create the alert. It's going to remember the original settings you had in place. So you could separate 3A's versus 4A's by checking that option once and create an alert, and then checking the 3A only, and then creating another alert, and then going back and checking both to have them both show up on your chart. Because again, each time you set those alerts, they're taking a screenshot of your current settings that you have out there. But that might get a little bit complicated. I do like the idea, if you are someone that likes to have alert sounds, to create a different sound for each alert type. So PFO versus A's versus PBs. TradingView doesn't allow custom sounds. Any custom sounds you've heard before was for a countdown clock, which was using just a whole completely different program. It wasn't through TradingView. You're welcome.
John is asking, how about a live trading room for options? I will tell you that more education and support on options is absolutely something that Aaron and I talk about quite a lot. Definitely is on the vision board.
I like that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so Paul is asking about support and resources to help you with your learning. Absolutely, there's plenty. Actually, I had brought up our, I believe I have right here under education. This is our New Cycle Trading and Analytics website under education, education services. It'll tell you all about the different tools and resources that you have, including this phenomenal free education. Free videos on how to do this. I mean, they're out there. You don't even have to have a subscription. And trading guides, these are actually 2 documents that you can download, PDFs that tell you how to enter the trade, how to manage the trade, what we set our bracket parameters at. So our mission, our goal is to educate. We want everybody to have the ability to do this. And if there are additional tools or resources that we can provide you that'll help you do that, we'll try to get it out there. So definitely check out our website and free education.
And for those of you that are new and have not subscribed to Aurora, a great place to start, if you're like me and thrive on information and data, that's a great place to start, is the education. You can use all of those links to really get an idea of what the Aurora system is about. If you've never traded futures before, there's some futures education on there too, and how to manage the dome. And then you can come to a free week in the live trading room. That's under the services link that we posted at the end of the presentation tonight. So it's newcycletrading.com/services. And if you've never participated in Aurora or the live trading room, you can check us out for free for a week. And if you do that, after you've looked at some of the education, you're going to get the most out of that free week, because you're going to already understand and know what the signals are. And now you're here to have Kristen reinforce those signals. And if you reach out to Infinity and get a demo dome account, you can also be trading in sim alongside of her during that free week. And then that will help you gain confidence for when you're ready then to move forward with subscribing to the Aurora trading system. Thanks, Joe. I will definitely look into that.
So any other questions? We'll give it a few more minutes still. Looks like we don't have any more questions. Plus the live trading room is just fun, I will say. It's so much more fun trading with the community than, you know, all by yourself. So we definitely have some fun.
Okay, I don't see any other questions out there. Anyway, oh, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, that's my favorite question. Michael C is asking one of my most favorite questions we get in the live trading room all the time. Thank you, Michael C. I almost just asked it myself just so that I could talk about it. Any reason 3A, 4A is not for the 3 minute? The 3A and 4A can absolutely be traded on the 3 minute. Here's what I will share with everyone. And you'll see this if you download the materials, the guides and whatnot. We take the 3A and 4A off of the 5 minute and the 10-minute charts. That is just what we've started and we've been tracking. So that's what our tracker records. I do have the 3A and 4A flags that pop up on the 3 minute. We actually have a number of people in our community that are working on trading the 3A and 4A trades on the 3 minute on NQ. What we demonstrate oftentimes in the live trading room is that the 3A and 4A on the 3 minute are oftentimes the same entry as one of our PB strategy trades. So for example, I happen to know for a fact that this PBA and this 3A came on mid-bar. This is the one we talked about a little bit earlier. It did not come on right at 9:30, but had it, let's just pretend it did at this moment, that would be a PB 35 because I have 3 minute PBA and 5 minute CXA alignment. Those are the conditions that are required. And it's also a 3A on the 3 minute. So I took the trade. I'm just recording it and tracking it in the tracker as a PB35, not a 3A. So it's not that you can't take the 3A and 4As on the 3-minute. You absolutely can take those. We are just going to take them and record them under a different strategy name. Oh, that was a big bar. I know there are some folks that look at trading the 3A and 4A on the 3-minute. Some people will look at trading it even on a 1-minute chart, but they do that in Sim. They practice it. They track a ton of data and they adjust their parameters accordingly. So hopefully, Michael, see that helps. Thank you again for so much for asking the question. You can trade the 3A and 4A off the 3-minute. We just, whenever we take trades off the 3-minute, we call them the PB trades. That's what we're tracking. As a matter of fact, a wonderful friend of ours who's in the meeting right now has shared that while we were talking, has taken a couple 3As and 4As off of the 3-minute and 5-minute and made some points while we were on the call right here, right now. That's awesome.
Love that. I think that's my favorite thing is when some of you show up for the Q&As and then are trading during the Q&As and letting us know how you are doing.
So Michael, yes, oh my gosh, it would be super cool. I actually tried for a little bit to try to keep track of every time I took a PB signal that was also an A signal. As you can imagine, there's just so much my brain can track and and also do a halfway decent job of trying to help people in the live trading room. So oh my gosh, if I could find a person to track that for me, that would be phenomenal. I'd love to have that comparison. But we talk about it a lot in the live trading room. Whenever I remember, I know this morning, actually, we had quite a number of times where I said, here's a good example of when we just got into a PB35, but that was also a 4A on the 3-minute. So whether you took the trade as a 4A on the 3-minute or a PB35, we're all in the same trade. And sometimes what you see is you might be in the PB3 trade, and the next bar is when you get the 4A trade. So we were already in the trade, maybe with a little bit of a better fill, a little bit earlier, because of the PB3 entry opportunity that got us in a little bit earlier even. So I try to point those out when we're in the live trading room.
And then Greg, I think that actually leads into your question about your flip-flopping between PBs or A's of which one you think might be doing better that day. I find that's where traders can get themselves into trouble a bit, is flip-flopping between something, because everything's going to have up and down days. And personally, I think you should just start with something and stick with it for a more consistent performance. And PBs are a great way to start because Kristen's in the room guiding you through those. However, and Kristen and I have a goal to find out what the performance is of the combined PBs and A's together. That's something that we're very intrigued by. It's we know that the opportunity is there, but what we don't know, we can't fairly say, let's add the two together and call it the total performance, because there will be times where there's doubles and we don't trade doubles. And there may even be times where there's signals in opposite directions. And so what we're looking to do is start tracking those as one complete system, PB3, 35, 13, fractals, the 4As, all of those and the 3As together, and to see what that combined performance is, so that there isn't this, "Oh, which one do I trade? Do I trade this or do I trade that?" Instead, looking at that combined performance. So again, you're not having to pick one or the other or flip-flopping between signals, which I'm very excited to see what
am
the
too.
opportunity is there.
And I would imagine that as we start looking at that and doing that analysis, there may even be some refinement on some management strategies of the trades, so that you would help us decide which one do I take, because right now our parameters are different. Our bracket is a little bit different. We still have a 10-point profit for either of the catch trade, the PB3, PB35, and all of our A trades. They all have 10 points of profit, but for the A trades, we're opening up our risk a little bit more, because we know we need a little bit more room to run on those. So I can imagine that there might be some refinement to some of the management strategy documents that we'll share with you as well.
And probably a webinar as well, of course. But first, we want to make sure what we're seeing works, that the data supports it. That is, I think, the biggest thing, that if you are in our community, I hope you are doing this, because a big mistake that I see with traders is they say, "Oh, this doesn't work," or, "Oh, this works really well," and their account doesn't reflect that. Or they make these claims about what works or doesn't work, but they don't have any data to back that up. They don't have the tracking that we have to really back up what the signals are doing. They've gone back and looked at them in hindsight, or they're not tracking it at all, and it's just the feeling that they're taking away from the market. I can tell you that when our traders make one of those claims, we tell them to prove it using data. And it's interesting, because most of the time the claims are not correct. And so that's why it is important for you to have some sort of data to back any of your claims. This is why we're not tomorrow launching okay, here's 4As, 3As, and P-base together. We want to make sure that what we feel and what we're seeing is backed by data, so that we can confidently come to you and say, here is what we're looking at, here are the averages, and here are the refinements of the rules if we're combining these together. Okay, I don't see any other questions out there. We did change the frequency of our Q&As, so we will be having Q&As the first Wednesday of every month. There'll be monthly Q&As. So we will be back next month with our next Q&A. If you have any questions between now and then, if you're an Aurora subscriber, feel free to ask them in our live trading room. If you're not an Aurora subscriber, feel free to email us at tradesupport@optionsmoneymaker.com. So that's again, trade support, one word, @optionsmoneymaker.com. And we'll be happy to send you in the right direction to answer your questions, whatever you may need. All right, thank you everyone for being here tonight. Thank you, Kristen, for being here and for hosting our live trading room.
You betcha.
And we'll talk to you all tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.